old in chief. Biden's inaugural committee will mark the first anniversary in office by blanketing airwaves with a Tom Hanks narrated video promoting a recovering, resilient America.
America is the home of the brave. It's why we keep getting up. More jobs were created in 2021 than in any year in the last 80 years. We are stronger than we were a year ago today.
It's only been a year! When I read that, I was like, how has it only been a year? It feels like it's been more than a year.
Insane.
And it feels weird to me because Trump years were long but kind of short because they were so chaotic. It was like growing up in my dysfunctional family. You're like, wow, this seems like it's going on forever, but oh, how time flies when you're just in constant chaos. I don't know if it's like dog years with him, where every year is like 7 years, because that's how it feels. Or if it's just the nature of the fact that we thought the pandemic would slow down, it's still going on, so it feels like a longer year.
We may be entering year 3 of a pandemic none of us wanted or expected, but we're moving.
Or if it's just the fact that things are like really bad for only being in power for a year.
Yeah.
All the like empty grocery store shelves and the like gas prices going up, it does feel to me like there's more real world consequences than for the average person.
For the average person, certainly. I would say some of that is cumulative. You can't just like be like, oh, it's been a year and look at all this shit that's fallen apart. Like that's a cumulative effect of multiple years of
But it is a government that wants to like have more control and power than as much as Trump was a nightmare. Psychologically, I do think that he had a more hands-off approach and let the states kind of do their own thing more than trying to federalize things like mandates. Like that all came
like
through
mandates
Biden
and stuff. But I feel like the like supply chains, that's cumulative.
Right.
Like that's the empty grocery store shelves. That's like 2 years of a pandemic with all these issues going on.
Well, we know where everything's ending up.
Yeah, we certainly do.
And
we'll
the train
cover
tracks
it.
of Los Angeles. Man, Tom Hanks is looking old.
Yeah.
This was a Simpsons again. Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
Hello, I'm Tom Hanks. The U.S. government has lost its credibility, so it's borrowing some of mine.
He's looking very old. Maybe it's because he got the COVID.
Yeah, he got early
Could
COVID.
be.
His dick is no longer big.
Hey-oh, I see what you did there.
That's right. I'm making that joke. Throw rocks at me.
He lost 1.5 inches.
Yeah, he just looks kind of old. I mean, that is the Simpsons thing. The United States government has no credibility, so we're going to borrow some of Tom Hanks. It seems to be like maybe The Simpsons is writing the simulation. They wrote it like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Gonna have
Simpsons
to
and South Park.
Call up Matt Groening and be like, what's going on, buddy?
How do you know, Matt? What do you know?
Tell us your secrets.
All right, and then we have a Gallup poll found a 9-point surge in party preference towards Republicans. This is the largest swing in the poll's 30-year history. Wow.
You don't say, huh?
Gee, I wonder why. School closures, Latinx, boys and girls aren't different. Like, I could go on and on. Empty, let's go Brandon, empty grocery store shelves, gas prices, inflation, defunding the police, cities in disarray. Like, all of our major cities feel like Gotham right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this stuff is having real world effects on voters as well. Everyone's being red-pilled. I want to know, this is what I want to know because I'm really interested in this. And if you have a long-winded answer, please feel free to email me at iampoliticallyhomeless@gmail.com. But I want to know if you've been red-pilled at any point over the course of the last 5 to 6 years or even in the past year. What was the moment that red-pilled you?
Will you define red-pilled as
Red-pilled is, I hate the way it's defined in that they say it's like people who were left-wing who suddenly woke up and now they're right-wing. I think it's more people who identified heavily with the left and now find themselves politically homeless and that they don't really identify with the left or the right, but they don't find themselves in the same place ideologically as many of their leftist friends and brethren.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm interested to hear, because I do think this is a large part of our audience. And, you know, you get called like a reactionary liberal and all this stuff, but there is something to it. And I think you're seeing this in this 9-point drift. That's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
Is people just becoming politically homeless and going, oh, I thought we were on the same page, but I don't agree with lockdowns. Or I think the like July riots and protests red-pilled a lot of people. I think the COVID school closures and that debate red-pilled lots of people. I think like a lot of people have cited Kavanaugh as a moment. A lot of people have cited the Covington kit. It's just interesting to me, what is the moment that you suddenly were like, hey, maybe I'm not seeing this clearly. But yeah, it's not surprising to me. Like, this is the least surprising poll I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's supposed to be a freaking bloodbath in 2022.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
That's starting right now. It starts
It
2022.
starts. Yep. And now it starts. But that's why they're, like, I think that's why they're prancing around with all this voting rights stuff, which I don't understand.
Probably
Or care
because
about.
they know they're it's gonna totally swing the other way, and then the left's gonna be calling election fraud like the right did.
It's never gonna be. It's gonna be contested elections from here on out. This is how democracy dies. Democracy dies in the duopoly.
Ugh.